Welcome to the analysis, practice, and reinvention of a jazz motif. This is a free sample of my extended course. Due to the overall density and complexity of my content, I decided to limit the amount of information that is being shared in this free excerpt in order to not overwhelm you, the recipient, and so to facilitate your comprehension and absorption of my unique teaching method. Hi, I'm happy to have you. Let's dive right into the content. In this lesson, I'll focus on my blues etude number 5 in D major. In my course, for each piano etude, I make available two versions, one basic and one advanced. In this lesson, I'm going to focus on the basic version. Let me play it for you. This lesson is built on three pillars, three parts that are essential to my unique teaching method, which I apply throughout my entire course. Welcome to part 1. The first pillar is the analysis of the theme's architecture and comprehension of its idiomatic sub-motives. In this lesson, I'm going to focus on the first 4 bars of my theme, which I will break down into motives or sub-motives. My analytical approach refers as much as possible to scales or modes that are built on the tonic or on the dominant of a given key center. The goal of my approach is simplifying our melodic thinking. First of all, let me play for you the naked version of my theme, first 4 bars. Throughout this free excerpt, I will only focus on motival unit present in bar 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. This motive or motival shape is built around the C augmented triad. As you might know, triads can be derived from scales. The C augmented triad can be derived from the D leading dominant scale. Now let me show you the triads that can be derived from the D leading dominant scale. Major triad, diminished triad, minor triad, augmented triad, major triad. And now I want to focus on the C augmented triad. This is the triad on which motive present in bar number 1 of the etude is built. Within the motival unit, the triad is appearing in its first inversion. Aside from the triad, the motival unit features a diatonic tension, the D note, as part of the motival building block in bar 1. Now I want to talk about the D note, which, harmonically speaking, is an extension of the C augmented triad. Now it's important to notice that melodically speaking, the D note is functioning as a diatonic melodic tension within the multiple unit, and this is because the C augmented triad is presented in its first inversion. Therefore, we have a diatonic major second between the D note and the inverted tonic of the triad, the C note. Now I want to talk about another element within the multiple unit, the D sharp. Functioning has a chromatic leading tone. In other words, a chromaticism that has an ascending function into the motive. Welcome to part 2. The second pillar of my course is the hands-on part. It involves the daily practice of a specific habit that I call the breakdown. The breakdown facilitates our absorption of the etude piano motions through an effective stimulation of our muscle memory. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's a sample of my breakdown method applied to Blues number 5 advanced version, bar 1. The first thing I'm going to do is to preview for you the whole bar, plus resolution on beat 1 of next bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one more time. No pedal now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now next thing, I'm gonna focus on beat 1 plus resolution on beat 2. Separate hands, left first, right hand after, and then both hands. Gonna feature rhythmic accompaniment. Left hand first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3 right hand. 3, 4. 3 both hands. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, great. Next thing we're gonna focus on is full beat 1 and 2. Welcome to part 3. The third pillar of my course is developing your compositional mastermind. With just one idea, if well understood, articulated, and developed, we can tell the whole story. And that's one of the purposes of my compositional jazz exercises. Now I want to discuss several techniques of variation. Throughout my entire course, I discussed multiple techniques as I developed many. Yet in this lesson, I want to talk about the first 4, which, despite being the most basic ones, are also tremendously effective. Technique number 1, altering the rhythm. It consists of applying changes to the rhythmic structure of the multiple unit and is articulated in multiple parts. For now, I'll share only 3. Rhythmic displacement. Applying rhythmic displacement to the original motive's position within the bar. Variation number 1. 1. Number 2. 1. Rhythmic fragmentation. Applying rhythmic fragmentation to the original motive, utilizing rests. Variation number 1. 1. Number 2. 1. Note repetition. applying repeated notes to the original rhythmic melodic shape of the motive. Variation number 1. 1. Number 2. 1. Technique number 2. Melodic permutation. It consists of applying permutations to the original melodic shape of the melody, the original motival unit intended as the original sequence of the motive's pitches. Here's the original melodic sequence. Permutation 1. Permutation 2. Now I want to discuss technique of variation number 3. Triadic permutation. It consists of applying triadic permutations to the original triadic structure of the motive. In this specific case, it consists of transforming the augmented triadic structure of the motive from augmented, this is the original triadic architecture of the motive, into major, minor, and diminished. The original motive. Now let me play the triadically permutated versions. Technique number 4. Shape resemblance, leveraging common tones. Applying motival micro-transformations to the original motival unit through shape resemblances. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the original shape, which has 2 notes in common with the A flat major triad and 1 note in common with the A major triad. Now, if we combine all first 4 basic techniques of variation to the blues form, we can actually compose what I call the blueprint, as to say a motival guideline that can be implemented into our linear soloing over the blues form. The extensive table of content within my course includes Pillar 1, the teaching of my analytical method through the analysis and comprehension of my motival units, bar 1 through 12 of the Blues Etude, number 5. Then Pillar 2, the teaching of my hands-on breakdown method applied to all of my pianistic movements, bar 1 through 12 of my Blues Etude. And then Pillar 3, developing your compositional mastermind through the teaching and application of 12 techniques of variation, applied to all of my motival units, bar 1 through 12, as a starting point so that you will learn how to implement these techniques of variation in your own jazz soloing and playing and composing through the creation of original blueprints over the blues form. I am extremely confident that through the learning and application of the 3 pillars of my unique teaching method, you'll be able to shape your practice and comprehension of the jazz vocabulary and elevate your musical expression to the best of its potential. Welcome to my course.